Hey there, this is Luke, Bushchat creator. Thank you so much for creating your account with us. In this short video, I'll be explaining to you how to use the tool to create a plan for your next birding trip, similar to what you're seeing on the screen. So this is a trip plan that I created for a recent trip that I had to Corvo Island in the North Atlantic Ocean, which basically contains information about different birding spots on the island, as well as the list of target species of birds that I was on the lookout for, along with some additional information. So let's get right to it. When you create your account, you'll find yourself in this dashboard page that has a green button on the top left called that says plan a new trip. To plan a new trip, you click on the button and this will take you to the trip builder. The trip builder is basically where the place that you're going to use the most to put all of the information about your upcoming trip into one place and build that trip plan that we were looking at before. So in this case, I'm going to build a trip. I'm going to plan a trip to Malta, which is my home country, and I'm going to do a spring highlights tour of the island. Right, this is my trip summary. You can add additional information here, and this is basically the start of my trip to Malta. You can access the settings in the top right corner here by clicking trip settings. This will show you again the same pop-up one more time. So let's start adding some birding spots for our trip. So I click this button here, add a stop, which will give me a list of stops that I can choose from. The first one is a birding spot. So I'm going to add a birding spot, which is called Salina. Salina is an area that has different multiple points of interest, and it's sort of one of the more well-known areas for birding in the islands. And I can add a brief summary about this. So salt pans look interesting, exclamation mark, and I can start adding points of interest on this map here by clicking on this add point of interest button. So uh, I'm going to first add a point of interest for the salt pans because Salina has salt pans. So I'm just going to give it a friendly name, and I'm going to search for the Salina Nature Reserve, that's where the salt pans are, and I'm going to add this point of interest to our trip. As you can see, the Google Maps here immediately shows me the red pointer, which is where I need to go. There are other points of interest around this area, such as, for example, the Salina Park, which is a wooded area that is good for hoopoes, for example. Look out for hoopoes here. So I'm going to give it a friendly name, wooded area, and I'm adding this point of interest. So now I have the two spots showing on the map here. And if I want, I can also add species of interest here. Let's, for example, add the hoopoe, the Eurasian hoopoe, and I can add the target. I can add that as a target bird for this Salina spot. So this is basically how you start compiling the information. There's some additional information that you can add, images, etc. And you can keep adding more and more stops in here to build the trip plan, similar to what I showed you. In the first part of this video. You can have trips can be public or private. That means only collaborators, only trip attendees can view and comment. If we do that, we do need to send invites to the people who are coming on this trip. When at their email addresses, send them an invite, and they will get an invite to be able to see this the trip plan. We can leave it as public. That is, anybody who has the link can view and comment on the trip plan. So this is pretty much what you need to do to build out your trip plan for the next for your next birding trip. As a piece of as an aside, I am really looking forward to hearing your feedback about this. So please, 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 if you have any feedback, you can leave it in the widgets that you can find here. Hope this was helpful.